Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first recording of Between Two Brokers with Carter and Austin Dandridge of Cobble Hill and other things, probably. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
First video recording.
Yes, first video recording.
I still don't know what the plan is for this video.
Just chill out. So anyway, we invited you guys. You guys built the Smith Spencer website, which is now world famous, and we still, after all these years, get positive feedback. We do know that we have to redo it, but we need a new video and everything. So thank you for the good job that you guys did there. But why don't you introduce yourselves and just tell us a little bit about your company and what you guys do?
Sure. So I started Cobble Hill 10 years ago. We're a digital marketing agency. We started doing pretty much everything from photos, videos, websites, and now predominantly we just do digital marketing. So Facebook ads, Google ads, some website maintenance, and email marketing.
So no more building of websites.
No more building of websites. We kind of got out of that. Yeah.
Why?
We found that websites required a lot of just investment in time and operations and personnel. And they were great because they were really big, large amounts of cash. But then once the websites were live, there was really no need for us other than some website maintenance here and there. So it was always like you were going and kind of hunting down the next, web project. Mm-hmm. And what we found was we would launch these websites and no one would come to the websites because they didn't have a marketing plan in place. They didn't really think further than just having a pretty website out there. Mm-hmm. And we brought on a partner about 5 years ago who's great and had a really strong digital marketing background experience, running Google ads and Facebook ads. And we just found that was resonating more with our clients, this kind of longer term partnerships where we're actually getting people to the websites themselves. And we blended that with just an eye for design, just doing websites. So combining, really good digital marketing, analytics, stuff like that with really good, compelling, creative, and storytelling aspect from building websites. Mm-hmm. And then it was just really hard to compete with keeping web developers on staff. It's pretty high turnover for being a web marketing agency. Mm-hmm. And so getting really good talent was really hard to do. And personally just got kind of bored building websites, and they all started looking the same, and when we started it was really fun because no one was building really high quality websites. Mm-hmm. And now it's easy to build a website. It's
Squarespace is great.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we recommend that a lot of people who come to us who are just getting started, these fledgling businesses, we get a lot of inquiries from new real estate companies, people that are looking to build their web presence, and they want to invest a lot of money into their website, and it's just not necessary anymore, in my opinion, to spend that much money on your actual website.
Well, that was going to be a question that I had because most of the people that listen are real estate agents. So you don't believe that real estate agents need their own website. Let's say I'm just an agent under Smith Spencer. Do I need my own website and my own MLS search?
I think it's important to have a website. I think it's important that your website stays up to date, has compelling content, a story about yourself that...
Define compelling content, please.
Like yours. Well, your personality.
Right.
You go to your website.
A blog and...
Yeah. You guys put so much content. Even when you were doing it, I remember...
By you guys, you mean Erin.
It was Erin. It was a lot of Erin. And at the time, I couldn't believe it. I was like, they can't put this on a website. They can't talk about neighborhoods like this. And
Oh, really?
I was a
We
little
were cutting
scared.
edge?
You were cutting edge. You were. You were totally cutting edge. You put your personality first and you put it out there. And now I get it. You know, as a realtor, that's so important to have that up front. So I think you guys nailed it for one. But yeah, you have to have something, some sort of presence. You can't just be totally incognito.
Blah,
Yeah.
vanilla.
Yeah.
But when we go to update, are you guys going to say, sorry, we don't do websites anymore? You're going to refer us out?
No, we don't.
We're rolling, right?
We still kind
We're
of
grandfathered in?
maintain,
Yeah.
we maintain a slew of our friends and great clients that we have. But I do think that it's important to have a story or something that reflects your personality on there, because someone's going to stumble on your website and they're doing research on you. It's not going to be the first place they go. The first place they go is probably doing a Google search or something like that, and they're going to see reviews for you, or other sites are going to come up before yours on Zillow or whatever. But you should maintain, I think, a nice looking website. And you can do that nowadays with all of these tools like Squarespace, or there's a lot of different ones out there that make it very easy. And you could hire a freelancer, but you don't necessarily need to employ a marketing agency.
And part 2 of that question was, is it important to have the MLS search on your website? I know when we were putting it on ours, it was a huge pain in the ass for you guys. Not really so much for us, because you were doing the technical side of it. But you think everyone's just searching on Zillow and it's not necessary?
I do. I mean, Austin might have a different opinion, but I think keeping it simple so that your website works clearly, and it's, on mobile. People are in their cars, they see your name on a sign, and it needs to work on their phone, and easy contact information.
Yeah.
Just quick click.
I do think that if you're sending a listing to a potential client of yours, or a client that's looking for something, it's nice if that link comes directly from your website. So
Oops.
in certain cases, that's hard to do, right? You're sending things directly through the MLS
Yeah.
themselves. But if you can get that back to your actual website, I think that's going to convert potentially higher than sending them to the MLS, where they might stand the chance of starting to look some more, and kind of get them off the page. We want to get them as low in the funnel as possible, if you're thinking of it in terms of just like the sales process. And I think keeping them on your site in your kind of confined means is probably the smart thing to do.
But a person building their own site through Squarespace is not going to be able to figure out how to interface the MLS with right?
Right.
It was a pretty big pain in the ass.
Yeah, I think technology is obviously improved a lot even over the past year. There's lots of tools out there, and really the trick is kind of weeding through which ones are gonna be the right ones to do. I think that there's probably room to have a combination of a DIY style website, or just some finding a freelancer on like Upwork.com, who can do some of this stuff. I think if you're a solo, agent kind of going out, and you're not under a big umbrella of a larger company who's going to support you for that, then I think that your marketing efforts are better spent on Zillow ads, on Facebook ads, on building your brand, creating stuff around your personality, and less on your actual .com.
Okay. But let's be real. When you guys are looking at real estate, which I know you do because everyone fucking does, what apps are you using on your phone?
I use Zillow. I
Yes.
think Zillow is I've just been using it the longest. I think the interface is way smoother than anything else. I'm certainly not going to your website to search for it. Just not because of anything, just because it's Zillow has an app on my phone. I know that they're going to they're maintaining it. They're going to be the freshest listings.
Sure.
And
And
it's
you
easier.
same?
Yeah,
Zillow?
same.
Okay.
I mean, mainly because we'll be driving around somewhere and we
Right.
just do like the radius,
Right.
those type of
I have the
features.
Zillow app on my phone.
Me too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, every time I'm traveling, I'm always looking
Right.
too.
Totally.
So I like
Yeah,
that.
you can pull up exactly like what's close by. You can look into any different other regions or whatever. So to your point, yeah, it's easy.
So, do you guys do Facebook ads and social media ads and Google stuff for real estate companies and real estate agents?
We do, yeah. One of our biggest, largest, longest clients. Would it mark that?
Our longest client.
client.
Actually, can we keep that, please? I would like to keep that.
Okay. On Mark. One of our biggest clients is actually a home builder who's selling houses, and we, they're one of their largest strategies is Facebook ads, Google ads, maybe like Google search, and we do Facebook just for brand awareness around them. But I think that Google search ads are super important to have if you want to, be competitive here. I would definitely have some of my marketing budget if I was a real estate agent devoted towards that.
Like, how much are we talking, though? I mean, monthly, if you, and pretend like budget is no issue. Like, so you can talk about it in terms of, let's say that you're advising, if we're coming to you as Smith Spencer and saying, hey, we really want to take it up a notch. We want a much greater presence on social media here locally and maybe wherever target markets we're trying to get buyers from. Or if you're an individual agent, I mean, what are we talking about spending?
I think that you should be putting about 25 to 50% of your budget on paid digital marketing. And that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But I think that, one of the important things there is having the actual content piece dialed in first. So there is an element of like branding or photography, video, things that you're actually excited to market other than just the house itself, right? You're kind of selling yourself you are selling yourself in this and your expertise. And I think that once you have that dialed in, then it's, and you kind of figure out what the right marketing mix is. For some people, it's all Facebook. For some people, it's more Google ads. For some people, it's on Zillow ads and stuff like that, or LinkedIn marketing. But I think that you're eventually going to get to a point where you're going to want to spend upwards of 50% of your marketing budget on paid search.
Okay, two things just came up. Are you guys doing the content or just the logistics of the ads, or does it just depend on the client? And then LinkedIn keeps coming up recently. I thought it was completely antiquated. What are
It's
people
like the
doing
hot
on
new
LinkedIn?
thing. I don't know.
What do they
Who
do?
are you advertising to?
Yeah.
LinkedIn's unique because you can actually target, people in specific industries, right? So which people are high net worth individuals, or at least are going to have a certain level of disposable income. Really good geo-targeting on there. I don't think it's necessarily the most effective channel out there. That wouldn't be the first one that I would suggest, but it's one that we always kind of, for more real estate clients, it's one that we suggest, testing a little bit. I think that Facebook, Instagram are the visual platforms you're gonna get a little bit more out of. But with LinkedIn, there's a specific level of targeting there that's different, and it's also a little bit more around kind of building your brand, so to speak, which I think is important. In terms of the content, I mean, Carter does all of our content, so she can kind of describe a little bit what goes into that.
Yeah, so we do all the content. I mean, we ask obviously for photography and videos, but we will give you ideas of what we need, or if we want you to put together a quick video or something. But I do the content, and I try to get to know the clients, and I write to your voice, obviously. we tried to do organic social, I think, with you guys for a while. And that was tough because you really have to nail the voice for that. And that really should come from the client. I think that needs to come from you. But as far as ads, yeah, we do all the content. And I do a lot of A/B testing and changing the content for the different audiences and the different platforms. So that's a big part of what we do.
I think it's important for agents to not skimp on hiring somebody to do the content, because if they're a natural-born salesperson, they are not a natural-born marketer. And let me tell you, real estate agents have some of the worst grammar I've ever seen in my life, and it drives me crazy. And you can tell the agents who have an in-house marketing person who is editing and providing stuff for them, and the ones who are trying to save money and do it on their own. And it's a pet peeve of mine. But, it's worth the extra
It is.
money.
It makes a difference. I think.
Totally.
Poor writing, it's like a dirty kitchen. If you see the dirt, you see it. If it's clean, you don't even pay attention to the kitchen. You see the food. So keep it clean.
I love that.
I will say too, sorry,
Go.
but what's nice about the Smith Spencer brand is you guys have really like defined what it is that and even from the outset, you were like, we want to sound like this. We want it to look like this. This is you knew who your customer was. You weren't trying to get every single customer out there, but you really defined what your niche was and built your content around that. Your emails come out and I read them because I'm like, I've like developed, your personality kind of like shines through
You're
in those
addicted
emails.
to the emails.
The emails are great. I'm addicted to them.
Can I
He
just tell
does
you
read
that Stacy proposed outsourcing the emails?
Bad idea.
Thank you.
Don't
I'm like,
do
those
it.
are my babies.
Yeah.
I just don't want her to be so stressed. I'm concerned about her stress levels.
It's a lot of work.
It is. But you're right. At the outset, we were like, not everyone's going to like us. And if they don't, fuck it. This is us. And, the people who do like us really like us.
We
All
got a
good with it.
referral from Sotheby's this morning. I can't stop. Like the first thing I said to her this morning was like, shit, like, can you believe that we're getting a referral from Sotheby's? Like, we made it.
She must
Yeah.
have
You
dropped an
made it.
F-bomb in their office.
For sure.
And they were like, this is not the place for you, ma'am. I'm going to tell you who you need to call. It's those young ladies down the road.
Southern Bells.
No, I mean, and that's the thing. I think that a lot of real estate agents, I understood that about business and branding was like, you need to be yourself no matter what, and you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but that's fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. And people who don't want to use us, like, whatever. It
It wouldn't be a good fit.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you guys to chat a little bit about what it's like working together as husband and wife, because everyone wants to know that. And you guys have known me for a long time, so you know that I've been there and done that as a husband and wife real estate team. It seems like in real estate, it's like a very, common thing that comes together. So talk about the challenges and kind of what you've learned, how you've made it work.
It is in marketing, too, for some reason. There's a lot of husband and wife agencies in town. But we don't really know any different at this point. We've been working together for so long. So
How many years?
9, maybe? Mm-hmm. I went into labor with my first child in the Cobble Hill office, and he's almost 9. So
Oh, my goodness.
9 years.
Yeah, it's obvious. Like anything, it can be great at times. It can also be incredibly frustrating because we're trying to balance, we each have an equal responsibility for the company. And so with kids, with other responsibilities, you want to make sure that each person is getting the same amount of time, and I think that can be really challenging sometimes when you're trying to work towards certain goals for yourself or your company or anything like that. But it's also great to just be able to share the success and also have someone to talk to about who really understands
Right.
what the actual issues are
Right.
that you're feeling right now. like a lot of the issues for us come up around, client conflicts or employee conflicts. Those are our, the main kind of things from a marketing agency that happens. And so to really to know the actual understand what the conflict is, I think that's super helpful.
I mean, it's almost easier than not working together when it comes to stuff like that. When we didn't work together, coming home at the end of the day, I couldn't even begin to complain about work because there'd be so much backstory and so much to explain. So now we always know. I mean, if he's working late or I'm working late, the other one knows why and wants them to. Obviously, it's our company together. So
we also have like a great partner too, who really, I mean, that definitely
we're in a
helps.
throuple, and that helped a lot.
Yeah, but our partner Greg is amazing, and is, of the three of us, obviously the most like centered and level-headed when it comes to decision making sometimes.
Yeah.
And can really see things through almost an employee standpoint. And I think it's really helpful, been really helpful for us as the growth of our company.
We have that in our marriage with Cynthia.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
it's
like we
helpful.
just need that third person to.
Yeah.
She knows us better than anybody else. It's because sometimes Erin and I don't know what to do, and we're definitely looking at it through the wrong lens.
Right.
Yeah. Who does the firing?
Austin does.
I'm usually, luckily we've had awesome employees over the years, and we've had employees who'd stayed with us for over 6-7 years, and so we're small enough that we're really cautious about who we're hiring, especially nowadays, and just I think it's been pretty easy to, it's like the saying goes like slow to hire, quick to fire.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we have such a tight knit team, and now we're all kind of remote a little bit. We're not seeing each other in person every day, so everyone really needs to carry their weight, and it shows pretty quickly. I think if they're not
Slacking.
Yeah, we have very defined roles that are very different too.
Yeah.
I mean, we work in totally
I'm sure
different
that's
arenas, and I also wear the HR hat, so I am talking to employees at a very different level than Austin is. So I get to be the nice good cop a lot.
I know y'all have some very big clients, like the brands, and you can choose whether or not you share who they are. But how did you get them? I mean, one comes to mind immediately, but I'm not.
Carter's
Ooh.
friends with celebs.
I want to know who. Who are you thinking?
Reese Witherspoon.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
We've always kind of like worked in a little bit of the like luxury fashion space. At least that's where we kind of started a little bit. And just through doing really excellent work, I think from the start, and getting people to kind of see it, we just got more opportunities. And the big companies are great to work with, but really like the best types of businesses for us are the ones that are like, have been around for a few years and are growing and need that consultative, small marketing team to come in and really help with them. The ones that have a small marketing department in place and are just need extra set of hands. I think we really provide we're just a lot more like in it with our clients than I think a lot of other agencies out there, and I think that's helped us a lot over the years through anything that we've done.
So they have the foundation, the business is built, and they just need to be launched. I mean, that's what we look for in agents. That's what we've finally decided. You've been in a couple years, you're quality, and
Right.
you just
Ready
want to take
to-
it to the next level.
Yeah, next level.
Are
Exactly.
you guys advertising Cobble Hill, or are people just finding you?
We've tried advertising ourselves a little bit, and we'll probably try a little bit more in the future. We've really in the past, since the pandemic, actually really accelerated us to really take a strong position in this digital marketing space. So before we were doing websites, we were doing some branding, we were doing some marketing, we were doing, everything really, package design and stuff. And what we found is that you can't be amazing at all those things, but we found that we're really good at digital marketing. Now we really found out who our the best types of clients are that we work with and the types of industries that we want to work in. And I think that helps us.
Well, enough about your business.
This is a real estate podcast.
Sorry.
Talk about real estate. So, Austin, I know your dad has like a financial planning background or something. Isn't he like
Yeah, he's retired now, but he
Yeah.
was the stock in the
A
stock market.
stockbroker.
He was a stockbroker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, why do you like real estate as an investment?
Man, I think the older I get, the more I realize that I should have
Bought everything?
bought everything, and
Yeah.
done that outside of stocks, because I think it's the one thing that you can actually truly own that's physical, right? That's gonna appreciate over time. If you look at the market, it's gone up everywhere over time, and it's just you can also use someone else's money while you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, we have a short-term rental on Folly Beach called Camp Huron. That has been an awesome investment for us, and you guys helped us secure
lot.
that.
So tell us about that idea and tell us about the pros and cons and what were you wrong about going into that?
What was the expectation
Because,
and what was the reality?
Because I get people telling me they want to own Airbnbs all the time, and that fizzles. You guys executed and you've done it, and now you're pros. So what advice do you have to give?
Well, I think the first misconception was that we thought we were going to make a lot of money really quick.
Yep.
And we thought it was going to be like disposable income on the side, and it has not been. But
Although I think your value has doubled.
oh yeah,
In
it's
3 years?
Totally. Did you see the house next
Yeah.
door that just sold?
Yeah.
It.
So
What?
you have made a lot of money.
Yes.
It wasn't in the way you thought.
It wasn't in
Hasn't
the way
been
we
realized
thought.
yet.
Yes. We went into it because we love the area. It's on Folly Beach. Austin surfs. Our kids are learning to surf. We live on James Island. It's super close. So we always thought we wanted something there, even just like a shack on the beach that we could take naps in on the day, during the day. And we found another couple, our really good friends, they were interested in something similar. And so we realized together we could actually buy something that we could rent out and make some money off of. And we looked, I don't know, a year with you. We looked at
I
a
don't remember.
lot.
Did we?
Yeah.
I really don't remember.
We looked at a lot of falling down just
Okay.
dumps.
We made a couple offers, I think, too.
Maybe.
On a couple things.
Okay.
But we
Anyways.
found, it was the perfect find. When
Yeah.
we found it, it was great. It was exactly what we were looking for. We didn't have to do a lot to it. But because there's 4 of us, we each have a different role. And our friend's husband is very handy and he can fix things. And so that has been huge to have somebody on hand to fix things and help out. We run it ourselves. So we do Airbnb.
So you self-manage, you don't
we
pay a property.
self-manage. We don't.
Yeah.
mhm.
And also, you guys have a website company and you are
Right.
excellent at branding. So
We market it well.
I do want to say that the average person is not going to be able to create what you have created because
Right.
of your marketing backgrounds. And what's the website for it, by the way?
CampHuron.com.
Oh, how'd you come up with that? All right, keep going.
But it was Molly and I, the other girl, we wanted like a creative outlet. So we like to decorate. And so that was really fun for us. And managing it is fun and doing the marketing is fun. It's a lot of work. It is sort of a second job that doesn't really pay. At the end of the day, we have a beach house that we don't have to pay for. So we go a couple weekends a year, not as often as you would think probably, but when family comes, it's a great overflow. They can come for holidays and stuff. So it's great. I would never advise someone not to do it because it's amazing. We love it so much. It was not the moneymaker we thought it was going to be at the start.
And you probably also envisioned yourself there every weekend.
All the time.
Yeah.
Right. But it's great. It is booked. As of now, it's February now, and it's booked through September of this year. So it does book quickly. And
We've also, like you said, we've branded it, so people have relatively good expectations of what they're getting before they go into it. And we have good reviews and stuff like that. So the majority of the people that are renting there, sure, they have questions or small complaints and stuff, but I think that they're, for the most part, relatively happy and have a good stay. And we try to make it a little bit more of a better experience than what you would, at a typical rental. And Folly is just awesome, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been, it's crazy how much it's changed out there.
Would you buy another one?
Yeah, if you can find me one. Yeah, we certainly
Austin,
could.
I know you. You want me to find you one for cheap?
Exactly.
I would like one
Cheap,
relatively
fast,
cheap.
and turnkey.
Cheap, on the water, really good looking.
Exactly.
I know you have it in you, Stacy.
How has it been, other than the fact that this other couple she's a great designer and he is very handy, like advice on other people going in on it with another couple?
Oh, the partnership.
Yeah.
We're used to having a partnership already, so
Right.
it wasn't necessarily new to us that there would be disagreements about small things. There's never any, and it's also, what's the vision for this place? Obviously, we could sell it now and make a ton of money, right? But if you really look at and take a step back, it's like, this is an investment, and it's...
You enjoy it.
And we
Yeah,
enjoy
it's
it,
fun.
and it's not causing that much stress. And when it does cause stress, we usually all get together and we're like, all right, let's figure out a new kind of like operating arrangement here that's going to work for everyone. Here, we do this maybe once a year as we get together and we really sit down and we're like, okay, what are our goals for it? This is what we need to fix. This is how much money we have to fix. My ultimate goal is to like not spend any of money from my pocket into the place,
Right.
and let the place kind of just pay for itself and continue to make improvements on it through the rental income that we're getting.
Yeah.
You guys are really team people, team players.
Well,
You are. Both of you are.
We're team players, but we're also we like to work for ourselves. We've always sort of worked for ourselves. I mean, that's a pretty big
Yeah, I mean,
thing
you're
in our lives.
entrepreneurial spirits, but I just think it's interesting because I feel like a lot of people are not into sharing, which I don't relate
Right.
to.
It's hard, but you guys
I love,
do it.
I love sharing.
Well,
I
no,
think as
here's
long
my
as you're-
issue is that, so this year my goal is to buy a mountain house, and everything I like, of course, is in a budget where I could afford it, but I'm not willing to pay it. And Spence keeps talking about, well, what about if we bought it with this couple and that couple? I'm like, I don't want to ask someone's permission to go for 4th of July week. Like, excuse me, are you planning on using it this week? Because I'd really like to. I don't want to deal with that. If that makes me not a team player, I'm okay with it.
But why don't you go into it in the beginning, and just say, look, I'm going to get 4th of July week. Like, whatever it is that you know that you're going to need up front, you just say that up front.
Because I don't know in advance.
Oh.
I'm like you a little bit, that I'm more loose with stuff like that
Yeah.
and want it to be kind of at my beck and call.
And I'm the opposite, which
Yeah.
works because I'm like, I need rules, I want calendars, I want expectations. I want to know exactly how many days we get to use it each year and put them all on the calendar January 1.
And that's been helpful, I think, is like defining, okay, we each get it a certain amount of days each year, and it's ours to use as we want, and these days you can also give to friends and family too.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if there's 4th of July weekend, that could potentially get, but maybe just go somewhere else for 4th of July.
Yeah.
But
That's
we're
what I
all-
was going to say.
We're good friends.
No big deal.
We all like tequila, so
Yeah.
if we just go out,
helps.
Yes.
True.
it helps. It definitely does. And we get along really well, and we're all aligned in our goals, and so it works out pretty well.
Well, I want to ask you, I guess another interesting thing would be telling your like Charleston real estate story. So Cobble Hill is actually, you guys were in New York, right? So is that where?
It's a neighborhood in Brooklyn.
It is a neighborhood in Brooklyn where we kind of lived.
You kind of lived in
We
a-
lived in Borum Hill, but it doesn't have the same ring to it.
No.
Hell no.
So, no. So we moved here from Cobble Hill adjacent, and Austin was, after a while, I guess, starting the agency, and we were trying to come up with a name. And we just liked the whole vibe of Cobble Hill. We wanted something that was sort of boutique-y and cool, and I don't know.
kind of felt a little Charleston too,
Yeah.
and cobblestone streets here and stuff. Naming a company is so hard,
It
you
is.
know, and it's stuck
We
with us.
just gave
though.
up and
Yeah.
chose our last names.
I think that's smart.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it really just depends. We've been tasked with naming a lot of companies over the years, and it's probably the hardest thing to do.
And then how did you tell the story about finding your house? And I know that was a bit of a shit show. I was not your agent then, which is why it was
No.
a shit show.
It was a shit show. Actually, we were still living there with no intention of moving. And I looked out the window. It was March, and I looked out the window, and the ground was covered in snow again. And I was on the phone with my mom, and I said some choice words that I shouldn't have said to my mom. And I hung up, and I pulled up Zillow, and I found our house. I was like, we're out. We are back to Charleston and sunny days. It was a little bit of a shit show. It was a short sale, and there was a lot of back and forth, and we were having to fly down from New York a lot, which was hard. But it worked out. We loved our house.
So your house was on Grove Street.
It was on Grove Street. It was so cute.
Yeah.
God, it was cute. We had an Airbnb there too. It
Yeah.
had a little.
So you guys were pioneers
Yeah,
in the
we
Airbnb
were.
space.
We were pioneers because we would get messages sometimes, like cryptic messages, telling us that we were,
Breaking the
law and going to be in trouble.
So it was a bungalow that you guys renovated some of it, right? Or was it partially renovated?
It didn't even have. No, it didn't. It was just an empty
It was a shack.
space. Yeah, it was a shack. And luckily, we had a friend who was super amazing and handy and
He
did
was
it
at
all
the School
for
of
us.
the Building Arts.
Essentially, in exchange for a
For
living
living
there.
there.
For living
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, because he did your ADU, your adjacent, your whatever, your Airbnb thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your first taste of the Airbnb thing.
So
And then
that
you
was
guys
a
had
taste.
kids.
Yes. So again, we didn't want to leave. We weren't planning on moving, and you came to me with a buyer, if you remember.
So it's my fault.
It is. It was all your fault at the time. But I was pregnant, and we had one child. We were growing out of that house. We had to move. But we loved it, and we were a few blocks from our office, and we just thought of ourselves as downtown people.
Yeah.
It was an awesome neighborhood.
You were very annoying.
We were so annoying.
The thing I hate, and I actually was hanging out with one of your friends the other day, and she was doing this shit to me, is, but we love our house. We love our... It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't, I love my house, but I'm going to move, and you can love another.
Yeah.
We've all
Yes.
learned, right?
Yes.
So you guys needed more space, which
We
was
needed
very
more
obvious
space.
to me, and ultimately obvious to you.
It took a lot.
It did.
It was a lot. I remember writing you 3 a.m. emails,
Yeah.
telling you how much, defining us as downtown people.
We like to overanalyze every situation
really do.
possible. But
Yeah, both of you. Yeah, I
We
got to know
thought
you
we
guys really
wouldn't-
well through the process.
We didn't think we would be cool on James Island,
Yeah,
but we are.
yeah,
We kept it together.
yeah.
yeah, it was also really hard to find kind of
What you
a
were
house
looking
that
for.
we wanted, but then, we found a house that had a lot of the things we were looking for. It was also just a cool house, had a lot of cool features, and it was kind of funky. And James Island's, it's not on the peninsula, but it's closer to Folly Beach. So,
Yeah.
and it's just, in my opinion, it's the best place to live in Charleston because it's still up and
Ooh.
coming. Yeah, I think
James
it's a-
Island commercial.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's got everything, and there's so much potential there, and it's just going to get better. Whereas other places have kind of already been built out a little bit, but James Island's kind of the last frontier. But I mean, we're super happy to have. I mean, we got more space. Our kids have we've got great neighbors that are
We're on the water.
We're on the water. We're it's got everything. We just built a pool, so we see ourselves there now for the foreseeable future. But that could obviously change too if you came to us with a very amazing offer and
on the
another house
beach
to buy.
at Folly.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing was with that, I knew that was. I mean, I knew that house was perfect for you. I just kind of had to nag you guys about it. It was so ugly.
It was.
I called it Big Chartreuse.
It was.
That was the name of it.
Have you seen it? We finally painted
Yeah,
it this
I
year.
did. Yes. So now
Finally.
it's no longer Chartreuse.
Now
But
it's
how many
white.
years has it been?
This will be
7.
7 years. Yeah,
Seven.
Which is also a very, very long time to be in a house.
totally.
So,
And
you know.
we've done a lot. Every year we do a little something.
Yeah,
We
we're
renovated a
constantly
kitchen. We added a
doing-
bathroom.
It's like a tropical paradise now.
It is. I mean, we don't want to leave.
No.
It's amazing. I mean, like during the day, we don't want to leave.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah, perfect work from
It
home
is.
space
It's
and
perfect.
everything.
And we really, we open the door and our kids run out and find neighbors and play. I mean, it is like the neighborhood of your dreams.
So if you're like, like leaving downtown wasn't the worst thing in the world.
It was the best thing. We just
Yeah.
needed a little hand holding.
Yeah. Well, I use that testimonial all the time. I have people that are just terrified to leave downtown. If they get married, they have a kid, and then it's like losing the cool factor. Well,
Yeah.
sorry, but you're getting older and you're no longer cool.
Yeah.
And you're
That's the
going
way
to
it is.
price out. I mean, once we
Yeah.
sold our house, we're like, well, we're not going to pay double to move to the exact same neighborhood again.
Mm-hmm.
But we got so much more on James Island.
Yeah. And that's why
Yeah.
you moved to the burbs.
Yep.
Oh, this episode has been brought to you by Jim Isle.
Yeah.
Home of Brick Ranches, hot tubs, and fireball shots.
Oh my gosh. Well, and also real quick, Carter, I wanted to talk to you just because I've seen your Instagram and you have just recently edited a book.
Yes.
So tell us about that because that kind of ties into branding and everything. Tell us what the book is about
Yeah.
and maybe how real estate agents could benefit from it.
Absolutely. It's called Big Fish, and it was written by Caroline Nuttall, who's a great friend of mine, and we have worked together in the past a bunch. She was the founder of Charlie Magazine, if you guys remember that. And I was the editor of that. So we worked together then, and she's just an amazing speaker. She does a lot of motivational speeches to entrepreneurs, and she's very smart and insightful, and she basically turned one of her talks into a book. And it's all about branding yourself as a business owner or a wannabe business owner. And I love it. I'm giving it to every entrepreneur I know, but it's exactly what you guys have done. And when I read it, I said, this is what Stacy did 10 years ago. She just really hones in on putting your personality first because everything else is going to be replaced by computers eventually. And the only thing that isn't is independent thought and personality. And so you have to put your personality out there. If you think about it in terms of real estate, every realtor has access to every home, essentially. The only thing that makes you different is you. And so you need to lead with you. And she really tells you how to find that personality that you should lead with. Because not everybody is funny or talks about neighborhoods like you guys do or has a really good handle on who they are. So she kind of helps walk you through the process of figuring out what you should lead with, what you should own, basically, in your personality, and then how to create a brand around that. And it's super smart. I mean, it's really
And
a
it's
great
an
book.
easy read too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can read it in 2 nights.
Look at this.
Isn't
Will you
it
show to the
beautiful?
camera?
Called Big Fish.
Oh, there, look.
And another friend of ours did the artwork, Justin.
I love the artwork. It's beautiful.
It's great, Justin Harris, who lived next door to us on Grove, actually.
Wow.
Yeah,
What a great story.
it is. So it's great. Yeah, it just came out a couple weeks ago, and you can read it in an afternoon.
Awesome.
Do it.
Anything else we want to talk about? Anything
don't
else you
think
guys
so.
want to add?
You guys have anything cool going on?
Or any like houses on Folly you want to show us?
Why don't you guys tell people where to find your business and where to find you
Yes.
on Instagram, your website, all that kind of stuff?
Our website is cobblehilldigital.com, and that'll have links to our Instagram, which is cobble_hill. And we're also on Twitter, cobble_hill.
CampHuron.com.
And
too, if you
CampHuron.com.
want to rent the cutest bungalow on Folly.
It is cute.
It's super cute.
Well, thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this
has
was
been awesome.
fun.